Okay folks, here today we have a couple of very quick game reviews. These are of a recent student of mine, Ispak, who played a couple of games on OGS against one of the 15Q bots. These are quite difficult as review games because normally when as a reviewer you're looking at moves of both sides, you're looking at the opportunities they missed and the opportunities they took and actually how the game played. With a bot, sometimes they play ridiculous moves, sometimes they play clever moves, but it's much more difficult because you can't really criticize a bot in the same way as you can look at how to improve the performance of a player. Anyway, that left aside, we're going to ramp through these games and I'm just going to talk as I go and see if we can get some pointers. I've looked at the game records once for both of these games. And the theme that came to mind, the theme that I'd like to talk about, is what I call slack moves or soft moves, the direction of play and the direction of attack. Those are the kind of principles, but they'll come as we go. My student Ispak is black and the bot is white, so let's go. Let's jump straight in. So upper left corner 4-4, all normal, 4-4, 4-4. White approaches. Okay, white approaches is an interesting one. This is a bot move. As black player at 15Q, I would without hesitation take the other corner. Just take the other corner. The upper left corners are pretty even, but black kick the white stone. Can't say it's wrong. White hanade. The next move was wrong. This cut through is just a completely wrong direction of play. The only move here is block, white hane, black connect, and now white is left with two cutting points, one here and one here. And you're basically saying which one do you want to protect. If white protects the outside cutting point, then black jumps. And so this exchange here means that black has got 12, 15 points of territory, and then we'd expect white to come out here. But this still leaves an invasion point somewhere around here. So this is normal stuff. So in this sequence here, black slightly lost his mind because we know that if we play a stone in that position, our opponent is immediately going to take it, and we can do this, but white gets a ponuki on the outside and we get shape in the corner. So I'm sure you see Ispak, the pain of this still resides with you, but in the event, because it was a bot, you got away with it. So white attarried here, and then you connected, and then white took the corner, which I think you should have taken straight away and get that advantage in the game. So that means you now get an extra move around that slightly weird Joseki. You atari this way. I have to ask a question, is that a good atari? This now involves a ladder, and the ladder is coming off this stone here, like this. Okay, it goes one past the star point here, which means that ladder will also go one past the star point here. So it's a bad ladder for white. So this wasn't a smart move, starting a ladder. Let's just finish that one out and see what happens. So here, 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 and that's where you get into trouble with the Atari. Okay, let's get rid of all that. Too much detail and too small time. Okay, so black plays there, white jumps out and black takes the stone. White comes here, let's get rid of the erase those, and black connect. Did you need to connect, or is this a better move? This is what we mean. This is just a better move. It solves all of the problems in the corner. Everything's now gone away. There's nothing to do. What could white do if white played at G16? If white played here, does this do anything to you? It doesn't. So it's called a slack move. It's a move that doesn't need to be played, and you didn't need to play that. And as we get better in our go, as we get more, as we get stronger, as our understanding of the game increases, we start to value much more sente, and sente is simply the opportunity, the ability to play wherever you like on the board and dictate the flow of the fighting. And this move is what we call a super Gote move. It actually achieves almost nothing and hands sente over to your opponent. So white now has an abundance of moves. Something like this could be played. In the game white played here, but I'm saying this would be a move for white. Approaching the corner would be a move for white. Pincering the corner from this side. There are endless moves that white could play. In the event, this is a 15 board, and so white plays a little bit small. Again, the move for you, this move is just a poor choice. And always in this situation, make a tiger mouth. And it's better because now if white makes this move here, you've got a cutting point available to you. If white cuts here, you can cut here, Atari, and extend, and you've broken out of white's wall in that kind of fashion. So this move is again, it doesn't achieve anything. It's a super slow move, and I'd have to say it's a bad move in that situation. Okay, white now makes a very nice move. So white's starting to look at this as a territory, that kind of shape, and so we're exchanging the corner territory for blue with the outside territory for white. Black immediately dives in, jealous of white's territory, and I have to say, again, ispak, something like this is much bigger. It's actually using the strength that you've already got here in this wall to extend down this side, rather than starting another little niggly fight in the corner, which is what you do with this one. So white comes out on top. If it were me in this case as white, I'd simply seal that black stone in, and now it's got to run, and black's got a weak stone. But white comes out, you come there. Now white comes down, you come down. White constrains. This doesn't work because you're down to 2 liberties. You come outside, and then white kills the stones. This was always going to happen. This stone is just in the middle of a white forest. And so white plays here, you're down, you're Atari'd, and now you go back and do that move. But again, it's almost unnecessary now. I can see what you're thinking, but you've got an eye, white's not got an eye, and a move like this would be much bigger. Or indeed, in this circumstance, to force the matter, if we take this one back, just force these stones are going to die anyway. These stones, they are going to die. So now you're forcing the matter by Atariing these stones here. But when white kills here to get out of Atari, you've caught this stone now inside your territory. So that's a much more efficient way of doing that. Okay. You play here, and then white connects. So white's now connected out. You see the difference between this shape, where the white stone is cut and enclosed within your territory, and the shape that we had in the game, where white not only killed the 5 stones, like this, but also broke out. And so white now has this potential to come in here, come in this direction, and this stone is now looking a bit lost and silly. Okay. You come down, white comes down. Again, let's look at the attack. Let's take these off. You're kind of niggling around the edges. In the opening of the game of Go, what we're looking for are the big territories. You know, white has killed these stones here. So white's got lots of eyes, and this stone in the corner is strong because it's in the corner. And the big points on the board for you here are here is a huge point for black. That's potentially big. If you want to reduce white, then reduce from the outside. But the move that you play, jumping in, is just asking to be hurt. It's kind of saying, come and beat me up, please. So what does white do? So white takes its base away. So this stone now has no base whatsoever. The only option for this stone, if it wants to live, is going to run in this direction out towards the center. But while it's running, white will start to move along this side. So white is going to take points in the corner, and black runs. And so black stone will contribute nothing to the game. It will contribute no points. So you Hane, and white descends, and you hane again, and white cuts, and you cut, and then white would extend or Atari. You must have seen this before. You know exactly what's going to happen. You've got one liberty. If you extend, it's white's turn, you've got one liberty. You Atari this way, and white takes. And you Atari the white stone, but again, you can't break white's connection with this. White protects the points in the corner. You take the stone, but in this shape, and it's a very classic shape, we see this a lot in Go, here, 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 here. It's a bamboo joint. Notice that you can't push again, because if black pushes again and plays a stone down here, it's a self-Atari. So the only way that you can separate that is by, first of all, you've got to play a black stone here, but as soon as you do that, you signal your intention to white, and white simply connects here. So this, and again, you've got a very lumpy shape. So this is a nice move by the bot. Okay, and the bot does, again, a very nice move here. It's basically saying these stones are weak. They don't have any eyes, and they're, because these black stones are dead, white is strong all the way at the top, so start to attack them. But notice how white is attacking, or the bot is attacking, not by playing in close, but by playing away. And this is such an important principle as you move from double digit 15 or so Q through to single digit Q. So this hane can't work, can it? Because you know exactly what white's going to do. White's going to connect, and now you've got a cutting point. So these kind of moves that create cutting points are very difficult. There again, these are soft cutting, soft plays. You block here, and again the block here, you can't cut, you can't kill white. And let's try and keep in mind these kind of moves. If you want to play a bit more safely, where you're playing somewhere like here or here, we've talked about several times in this, but this kind of direct attachment doesn't help you at all. So white simply hanes on it like this, and you connect, and white descends. And now what's happened is we say, well, look, white's got two weak stones here, but black's got two weak stones, and whose stones are weaker? It's a debatable point, but it seems to me that white's got more out of this. The two black stones are going to struggle harder to escape in this direction because they're in the center of the board than white will have to escape in this direction, because white has also got this turn in this direction, and white's got the edge of the board against which to make eyes. So you cut, and I would expect white at this point just to take the stones. Yeah, there we go. So this is all a bit forlorn. You know, you can't. It's always very tempting for us to assume that our opponents are stupid and they can't see what we can see, but that's never the case. Well, it's occasionally the case, but it's normally never the case. We have to treat our opponents as super intelligent, and that they can see exactly what we can see, and they're not going to fall for silly tricks and traps like that. Okay, so black connects, and notice these black stones are still weak. What does white do? White cuts. That's a crazy move. You must see that now, ispak, that just does nothing. In fact, white just takes on the outside, and now these stones are in real trouble, because they're down to 3 liberties, and normally 3 stones should have 8 liberties. So they're down to about 30%, less than 30%, 28% of the liberties they should have. So again, the hane doesn't quite work because white simply cuts inside and plays a slightly crazy move. Now this is a classic bot move. Actually, the move that white needed to play here, white's next move, just needed to be this extension here. Because if white turned, white comes like this. Then we have a ladder, and the ladder in this case goes off in this direction and will crash against the edge of the board. If white comes out this way and black comes in this direction, get rid of that. White comes here, and white can do something like this. So black's got 2 weak groups, and the problem with having 2 weak groups, this group's a weak group because it's got no eyes. This is a weak group as well. When we've got two groups, we're trying to look after two groups simultaneously. And you could argue, you could come back and say, well, hang on a second, white's got two weak groups as well. Well, that's right, but white in this direction, we don't consider these stones as weak because they've got friends. They've got friends here, and they've got friends here, and they've got friends here. This one, I would take it and say, yes, actually, this white group is weak, but black's stones are weaker because those stones, the squared stones, this group here, is still down to 3 liberties, and it's now 5 stones in that group. And normally 5 stones should have something like 12 liberties. It's down to 25% of its liberties. Okay, we'll keep moving on the game. So, white played a crazy move. You got out of Atari, and then white makes the jump. It's a really nice move by the bot. This is the kind of thing that we've been talking about for the last 10-15 minutes. That's the move that black should have played a long time ago, because that's really supporting these 2 stones here by giving them some base potential, some shape potential. You go back into the corner, and this is belt and braces. The white stone in the corner is dead. And so you've just given center again to your opponent, and this is so important. This is the key bit of this lesson. Figure out which stones are alive and which dead, and which are dead. And it's not always easy as a beginner to understand the difference and to really start to grasp the difference. But this is an utterly wasted move that gives your opponent absolute potential to play anywhere they like on the board. And if I was in this game, I'd send up a big cheer and play something like this, or a big cheer and kind of attack and make a base for my stones at the same time, or send out a big cheer and play something like this. I mean, there's lots of opportunities, because notice that these black stones in the center and that one, even though they can make one eye, were they to take that, that's just one eye, and they're still in the middle of white territory. Okay, let's get back to our game. So you did that, and white did an equally stupid move. This is a pointless, nonsensical move by the bot. Okay, and you come here, and then white tires, and you take, and white keeps coming out. And now what white's doing, what the bot is doing, is actually the bot is attacking this group. This is the black group that's now under attack. It's not got any eyes, because that one's a false eye, because of the presence of the 2 white stones on the shoulders of there, so that makes it a false eye. So that black group is about to die, and so if that black group dies, then white's really ahead in the game. So you come here, white harness, you cut, Atari, and so white is not going in for the kill. Notice again that this is a really important point. White has just decided that this black group here is hopeless, it's dead. There's nothing that you can do. And white just keeps building strength on the outside. It's kind of a defense in depth. Although it looks to me like white has managed to give up, or decided to give up, these 3 inside. And that makes these ones also super weak, because now black has got a thick wall. And this is the thick wall that we're talking about along here. And walls radiate power in this direction away from the wall, and that power starting to intersect with the white stones on that side. Okay, let's clear all that. Let's keep moving. So black turns, nice move. Gives your group liberties and starts to pressure white. Terrible move by white. The only move for white, because this is called a crane's nest attack, its only chance is to do something like a jump here. Then if black wedges, sorry, get that one out. White does this, and actually what white needed to do was this, and then if black wedges, white blocks. Black can cut here, white takes, black squeezes, white has to connect, and then we can catch the white groups in that group. This is not quite in that shape. This isn't quite strong enough for that style of attack, and so it may be better if we go back to this point here when white does this shape that black simply connects here. And now white's got to fix this shape, and then black can do something like this. It's a different sort of game. It's a different complication. But in the event, you turned here, white turned here. You had an escape route. White came out. You connected back to your group. White started to attack the outside group, and then you attack the inside group. Yeah, this becomes difficult. White misses the opportunity to kill everything here. And again, this is a bot game, so you play here. And white does this move. Now we're into a liberty count. Really are into a liberty count, because this little white group here has only got 2 liberties. It's only got 2 liberties. And so you press out there, and now white connects, which is also an Atari, and so you connect there, and now we see this is this killing sequence that white misses. Still, white has only got 1-2 liberties here, but white plays this move, which is an Atari, so black connects, and now what white should have done, what happens in the game, white plays out here, which is of course absurd. The white move here is Atari, connect, kill. That's the move that any human player, even at 15Q, would have seen and would have killed. What happens in the game is after this one, white presses here, and of course so black takes the white stone, kills it. Black's now got 2 eyes. White's in terrible trouble. Black should be winning this game. Like this, like this. Black kills the white stones at the bottom. White tries to make a living group. This one, why did you kill them? That's got to be the question. Is there any move that white can make? If you were to change your focus and attack here and white pushed out, then you kill here. If you were to change the focus and take there, white jumps, you kill here. There was no need at all for this move, this super slack move. You've given white 2 moves in a row, and how often in Go, how often would we love to be able to play 2 stones in a row? Okay, so white comes here, you push, and that's an Atari, and actually if white's got anything about him at all, can give those up. Yeah, quite correct. And you take those, and then white comes here, connects, 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 push. Strange moves by white, push, and Atari. This is another classic descent on the second line. You turn, white gives up the 1 stone in order to be able to connect and take the points in the corner, like that. So white's alive in the corner. You cut, and white takes the this is bad shape moves by white, and so white goes back to fix this. Again, do you need to take the white stones off? They've got no move, they're dead. This was a very bad move for black. This is what we call super slack moves, even worse than slack moves. You're just killing stones that are already dead, and by doing so you're taking points away from your own territory, your own score. So white cuts and kills that group there. You cut this group here. White again is doing a bit of belt and braces up at the top. There's no need for this. The black stones are already dead. So you're doing the same thing here, and so then white makes a shape. In terms of territory, the problem that we have here is white's got this big open area, so white's territory is now potentially all of this area here is white's. White's also alive in this area of the board. Black, on the other hand, has got a corner. Let's just change colour here. Let's just go to the red. Black's got this corner here, like that. But for all of the stones, all of the black stones here, there ain't that many points. There really aren't that many points for the stones. The ratio of points for stones And if we count it, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 26, 28, about, say 30, be generous, 35 points in that area for black, including these here. But actually, how many stones have we used to get 35 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, about 40 stones, maybe more. I'm not going to count them all. It's just hugely inefficient to make territory in that way compared to the way that white is making territory. Okay, so the game, so again, this is belt and braces stuff, ispak. Look, the white stone's dead, they've got 2 liberties, everything in the surrounding group has got 2 or more. You don't need to play this kind of moves anymore, just stop it. White comes down, you take some territory off white on that side, protect the cutting point, white blocks, this isn't going to go anywhere, you've got 3 liberties. Now you've got 2. You've got nowhere to go. White's in Atari, you connect. Yeah, this doesn't go anywhere. This is endgame stuff. Big point by white. Huge point. Expanding the corner and taking more territory. You're trying to kill white in the corner, and this just cannot work. I mean, again, you get away with this. I remember in the game record, and if white does this, what do? You can't do this because of death. But what white does is this. And this is a completely ridiculous move by white. And so now you take, and then white plays over here. Okay, so this is a missed opportunity. The bot's being nice to you here, because notice that whatever you do now, that's a false eye, because it's cut by the presence of this stone here, this black stone here. He's angling on in this one. This is a false eye, because you can't make any kind of eye there. There's no space, which means that white currently only has 2 eyes. And we talked quite recently about the bent 3 and the straight 3 and the nakade. And here's a case of, if black plays there, then every white stone on the left hand side of the board is dead, and it's a resigned game. It's absolutely resigned game, because this is a bent 3 shape. This shape with the extra stones here and here kills all of white's eyes. White has got no eyes. So at this point, white did this. White pushed here, and I believe at that point in the game you resigned. So if we just look at a quick score estimator, the score estimator for this one says black by 31, and the reason for black by 31 is because black is what the counter is assuming that black's not so silly as to miss this cut. If white hadn't have played there, and white had done the obvious sensible thing and made 2 eyes here, and then we look at the estimated score, it's white by 16. So the whole game pivoted one way or the other on a single move there at the end that kept that white group on the left alive or dead. Okay, I'm going to bring this to a close now. Let's look at the big points again. This is about playing redundant moves. I'm not going to call them slap moves. Let's say redundant moves. Moves that you play that you simply don't need to play. And there were lots of examples of that in the game. And then the other really important point to grasp is about big moves. Looking for those big spaces. Nick Sabicki, whose videos I like a lot on YouTube, talks about where are the biggest slices of cake, where are the big pieces of cake that we can push onto our plate and scoff down. And those are the big open areas of the board where nobody's really played yet, where if you can get your stone in first, you can start to hive off those areas of the board of your territory. So try and move from these little niggling close-up fighting, particularly in the opening, before the first 50 stones have hit the board, and start to look for the biggest pieces of cake. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that was helpful. A big welcome and a thank you to all of the recent new subscribers to the channel. You're welcome aboard. Please post in the comments if there are videos on particular things that you'd like to see or you'd like me to do. I'd be happy to do that. I'm a single digit Q player. I'm not an AM player. but I'm aiming my videos at people who are beginners and new to Go, so welcome aboard. Okay folks, let's see you soon, and bye for now.